Hi everyone, Jennifer Blevins-Smith with Integral Clinic Solutions, and you're watching my YouTube channel, Navigating the Business of Medicine. Today I want to talk about preparing for opening a practice. When I say preparing, yes, I do mean physically and financially and things like that, and we'll go through that briefly. However, I'm also going to speak about the physical and emotional expectations and preparedness that you should take for yourself. Opening a practice is not for faint of heart, especially in the environment and the way that things are going in healthcare right now. Things are just getting more complex. The demands of compliance and administration burdens are growing. It's one of those things that if you are going to be starting your own practice, which I highly encourage and I support private practice owners 100%, you do need to know how this is going to affect not only you, but your family and your loved ones. Yes, financially, you need to make sure that you're doing things responsibly. And I have videos about creating a pro forma and a budget and things like that. I encourage you to make sure that you've looked through that you're doing the right things, that you're looking under every rock and around every corner, because you don't want to be caught rushing through something and being like, oh my gosh, what did I get myself into? I'm in way over my head. Financially, I have some videos out there. However, depending on your specialty, where you practice, the staff you're going to need, there's so many factors. So make sure you check out those videos and that you have hired somebody to help you make sure that you're considering everything when it comes to putting together your pro forma, your budget. Make sure you have a strong healthcare accountant, you have a bookkeeper, you have even a healthcare attorney if you need it, to make sure that you're doing everything possible to avoid any moments, okay? Then we have the physical preparedness. So we have preparing to, you have to find a location and you have to do hiring and you have to order supplies and you have to order equipment and you have to order furniture and you have to set it up and you have to put workflows together and you have all this stuff that you have to do. Oh my goodness. Yes, it is a lot of work and it's a lot of work for one person. And I always encourage having at least another person that you can rely on that can either take half of this burden from you or do it and use you kind of as a guide and to check in with you and tell you what they're doing, hiring them to take on the burden, something like that. But physically preparing to open a practice is a lot of work. It's tiring. It's a lot of long days, probably some sleepless nights. I'm not going to lie. There's a lot of physical preparing, like putting things together. I mean, for a whole week, me and like three of my staff members, when we opened a new practice, were putting furniture together and we were setting up the equipment and we were setting up the exam rooms and we were making sure we had everything and it was just so much and I was sore. And I'm not in the best shape, but I'm not in terrible shape either. But it was a lot of crawling, it was a lot of sitting, it was a lot of bending, things that I don't normally do on hard floors. And I was like, oh my gosh, this is crazy. I should have just hired someone to put it all together. Not really, it's kind of a waste of money. I'm very capable. However, it was a lot and it took a lot longer than I anticipated, even with having help. It's one of those things that you kind of underestimate because it seems easy at the time, but then you have all these other things that you're trying to work on to set up and get the internet going, and you have this these people coming in to do this, and you have this contractor finishing up on that, and it's whoa, it's a lot. So just keep that in mind. But this video, I really want to discuss the mental preparedness and the emotional preparedness. You are going to be 150% focused on this practice. You're going to be trying to get everything going. You're going to have multiple balls in the air. You're going to have, like I said, long nights, long days. Your family probably won't see you very much. Your friends are probably going to think that you don't like hanging out with them anymore. It's going to be a lot. And mentally, you're going to be drained before you even open the doors because of so many moving parts. That's why it's very important, like I have said multiple times, to have someone or some people involved with you during this time. Although I know you're not probably getting income in the door yet, but paying people who are experts in certain areas to help you through this. It's a lot for one person to do. And when you start adding more and more on top of it as you get closer to opening, it's even more exhausting. When you have to hire staff and you're not having luck with finding the right candidates as fast as you were hoping, or you're not able to open the doors when you expected based off your financial forecast because you are waiting on a permit for something that's out of your control and it's delaying you from being able to make money. That's going to mentally stress you out. Emotionally, you're probably going to be pretty worn down, and as much as you're going to be excited about patients coming in and seeing what you've done and being able to be your own boss, you're going to be tuckered out. You're not going to probably have a lot left to give for a while. And that's okay. And that's expected. But honestly, getting people involved before this, like I said, to help take on some of this burden, where maybe they're better experts at knowing how to do this stuff, because a lot of these things, if you're a provider, are out of your wheelhouse and you're learning as you go and you don't know what you don't know. So you're maybe making mistakes and learning from mistakes. So it's getting delayed that way. Where if you hire someone who has done this before, that has the background of opening a practice, of running a practice, of doing certain things, you can hand things over to them and maybe focus on something else. It will help you emotionally. It will help you mentally. It might not help you financially at first, but it will in the long run. It's an investment essentially. And physically, it would help you too. But I have spoken to so many providers where they just open their doors, and by the time they open their doors and now they're learning a new, maybe electronic medical record system, and they're trying to get new patients and they're trying to grow their practice, pulled in so many different ways that they just are exhausted. And so trying to put the effort into making sure they're getting their chart notes done in a good amount of time to get those claims out the door, to get the money back in the door, to see patients, to go out and market themselves, to do what is still needed to be done, they don't have a lot of fuel left in the tank. And I don't want to see you fail because you didn't anticipate running on E for a very long time. There are ways to prevent this. And as simple as it might seem to you, honestly, I'm going to promise you, I have not seen a healthcare practice be easy to open, especially when you're having a brick and mortar and all the things that go into that, and having to hire staff and compliance and administration stuff. It's a lot. And when you're learning as you go, it makes it even harder. And then again, like I said, if you have to learn a new EMR system, if you're relying on growing your practice, like you don't have a set of patients you're bringing from an existing place where you practice and you're starting from scratch, it's stressful and it can be hard. And depending on the time of year you're doing it, that's a lot of things people don't think about, right? But starting at the beginning of the year is deductible season. So even if you are getting patients in the door, most likely insurances aren't paying, they're putting everything to patient responsibility. So you're at the mercy of patients paying their bills. And then you can pay your bills. There's so many factors that play into this that you wouldn't know unless you've done it before. And it's not your fault, but just realizing that preparing to open a practice is not just financial, it's not just physical, it's also very much mental and emotional. If you have any questions or comments about this, if you have tips because you've opened your own practice and you understand what I'm talking about and you would like other people to know specifically maybe what worked for you or what things to avoid if you had to do it again, please leave that in the comments below. Smash the thumbs up button if today's video was helpful. Subscribe to my channel if you haven't already, and please share this with your colleagues whom you feel would benefit. Thank you so much. I hope you're doing well. Take care of yourself. Bye-bye.